Well, I'm not a morning person, so everything about the morning has a little bit of an air of distaste, but I would say the things I love about the morning are probably, you get that, new morning air. You get like everybody's waking up. It's normally pretty crisp and it's nice out. I normally get up around 7 o'clock and then, get ready, brush my teeth, rub my hair over, have a shower, get dressed. Then small breakfast, bit filling, hopefully. Then I go out and catch the bus to uni. I really love my home country of Australia. I like to think of it as the most beautiful place on earth, but going here, being in Switzerland, it's hard not to deny that it's the most legitimate form of paradise on earth I've ever seen. It is just beautiful. And like, I'll be walking home, and I don't know, just looking around the street, I'll see things that it's just beautiful. I don't know how to describe it. It's got a different kind of beauty from a lot of places. This is a bit theoretical, but the beauty is like evenly spread, it feels. Like there's, even in the smallest little cracks, you'll find something worth admiring about the country. And then that's not to understate the more obvious attractions, which are the mountains and the lake. There's definitely a sight every morning. Just when, for the sunrise, and it's just like coming just over the mountains, and it's like coloring the lake, and oof, yeah, that's good. You'll make a lot of friends at AUS. We're kind of a close-knit community. It's very familial, and it's very nice. One of the large aspects of making friends in AUS, and can be a bit trying, is the great diversity of culture. But then once you finally make those friends, which you have to kind of bend through the cultural element of that, it's really a rewarding experience, because you have a large cast of people with a great diversity of experience and ideas and perceptions that really make it's a very wholesome experience. And AUS really, because it can be challenging to make friends of such a vast variety of cultures, especially if you're not 100% confident with the language. AUS makes it very easy to form friendships, because a lot of the projects and stuff that we have to do are all collaborationist. It's everybody working together, it's teamwork, and making friends is a kind of natural part of that process. So I feel like, you're never gonna be lonely for long. The campus here is compact, but I feel it adds to the coziness. It gives it a very nice kind of warm vibe, and you need that when it gets to the cold winters. So I would say, the campus has some really beautiful gardens next to it, and great views, obviously. I prefer to sit in the middle of the classroom. It's not too up front, you're not too much pressure, but you're not too far back, so you don't look like a slouch. I find the middle is kind of the perfect temperature. It's the kind of the Goldilocks zone of things. So I tend to sit in the middle. There's a lot of the main form of teaching at AUS is lectures, but of course it's like a lot of online resources to kind of help you, kind of push you along. And the teachers themselves, normally they're half professional, half teacher, and a lot of that means that they're really keyed into their industry, and they provide even constant info of what's currently happening in industry at all the time. Because one of the biggest worries about kind of business schools is business isn't a static thing. It's always constantly changing. It's changing from month to month. So it's really great to have kind of, like kind of professional professors in a sense, who can really, update the course as it goes on, and really, try and keep us up to date and keep us so that when we get out, we're not 4 years behind the curve. Yeah, my favorite subject, I would say, well, my major is fintech, and it's really great to be in Switzerland for that because fintech is just skyrocketing here, and Switzerland's a great place for that because we have the crypto valley just next door, and that's just a wealth of resources in order to engage in this kind of brand new field. I mean, I think it was Albert Einstein who said, "When you're not learning, you're dying." And it's one of those things where a formal education is really, really great. And it's here, you know, it's a beautiful place to have a formal education. But I mean, a formal education isn't everything, and especially going forward into this kind of new age of, you know, fast-paced work. So you need that kind of self-learning, constant learning. And I feel like AUS really kind of tries to provide those skills to allow us to not only have this formal education, but then leave and then continue our educations by ourselves, self-driven. Once a week after classes, I have a debate club. So that's really nice because we get to kind of discuss issues and really get to hash out ideas. And you know, you have a combative bunch of people, but that's what you kind of need to have good, strong debates, and it's always a good time. When coming up with debate topics, we kind of like to spread it out so that everyone can kind of come up with their own and bring their own kind of their own topic, just so that we can kind of get a great diversity. But it's all about just trying to find what's interesting, and we really want to find interesting topics over topics that are maybe perhaps more conventional. I also have friends who play in the university soccer team, so every weekend or so I go out and watch the footy, and that's always a good time, you know. Seeing the guys and watch them compete against other schools and other teams in the area, and that's really good just for the local connection, because when we're competing out there, we really get to, you know, mingle with like the local teams who come around, and that's always a bit of a banter, a bit of a blast, and yeah, it's good. It gives you a bit more of a Swiss feeling when it comes to things. If I could meet anyone from history, honestly, it's gonna sound kind of lame, but I would meet Plato. I feel like you just gotta meet him. You know, what was it, Whitman? I think he said that all philosophy is, you know, a footnote to Plato. I gotta meet the main draft, man. I think, yeah, it would be super interesting to meet him. Oh, of course, I wouldn't be able to speak ancient Greek, and we'd probably have a bit of a miscommunication error, but I think like figures like that, he's just a linchpin of Western civilization, and to be able to just see someone like that in the flesh, yeah, that'd probably be the best kind of thing. What would I ask him? I would ask him, how'd you do it, man? How'd you do it? How'd you write so well? How'd you think of all that stuff? I mean, I'd ask him what he thinks about, you know, the current civilization we have. How does he think it compares? How does he think the kind of education that we receive now compares to not only the education that Greeks received back then, but, you know, the kind of education he talks about in the Republic? I'd really be interested in kind of, you know, really seeing how he felt about our kind of civilization and what the civilization he basically started has ended up like. I have a lot of plans for the future. I got big dreams, big ideas, but I would say nominally it's to, you know, see how I can kind of relate to my parents' work and see how I can kind of fit myself in there and just try and continue things on. In other regards, you know, I'm thinking about perhaps continuing my education and, you know, just seeing where the road leads me. I'm keeping it a bit, you know, short term at the moment, but, you know, big plans, big ideas, plenty of ambition.